Good day, viewers. Welcome to another edition of Agriculture Farmer Educational Series. My name is Dr. Adeosun Shola Anthony. I'll be your host. I'll be your host for these short tips. Now, we have done series of farmer educational series to help you guys, to help your businesses, actually as it relates to poultry production, which is our core area. Now, please, before we dive into today's programs, we have a lot of content that we dish out weekly, and we wanted to share many of these content. Share it with your loved ones. We are on YouTube at Agricom Media. We're on Facebook at Agricom Venture and Agricom Media. We're on TikTok. We are everywhere. Please share the content. Share it with your loved ones. Like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. Very, very important. Now we're going to give you a link to. There's going to be a link at the end of this video. There's a link is going to be provided for the YouTube channel for you to see a lot of content that will put there for your need. Now let's dive into today's program. Now I'm going to be just giving us short tips on 9 ways to increase the growth rates of broilers. We have so many people call, doctor, my birds are not growing. This is happening. This is happening. This is happening. So now, one thing we should also note is most of these things that we do, they are a result of feedback from customers, as a result of feedback from many of you. That okay, so we are trying to help the larger community. Now, they say my best is not going. What can I do? What can I do? Then some are even used to okay, they want to switch from one archery to the other, thinking that the problem is the archery. They are now. I'm going to list 9 ways for you to increase the growth of your broiler. And some of these, like I also like I always say, many of these things are management practices. So you don't put in much and then you expect results. For you to get results, you have to put in the needed work. You put in the needed work, the results will come. It's just simple as ABC. Now let's dive into this program. Now, uh, the first point is make sure that you procure. Now, the slides will be shared with you on the screen so that you can also follow. Now, some of you can also take them down if you can jot and so that you can visit the lecture a bit later. It's not going to be for long. Now, make sure that you procure high quality broiler chicks from reputable sources. Some people are used to buying their beds anywhere. When I say anywhere, I have this agent somewhere, they buy, then the next time they complain, the bed is not doing properly, is not doing well. So their escape route is, oh, let me source for another bed. No, look for identify a reputable source. Identify a source that have high quality broiler and stick to them. That's the first thing to go. That's the first thing to do. Now, if you do that, now if a broiler that comes from a poorly performing source will not get, or from a poorly performing parent stock, or from a poorly performing farm, will not get to your farm and change all of a sudden. There's nothing you can do. It will not change. There's nothing you can do. So the first rule of thumb is make sure that you procure your best from high quality broiler. Get your procure your chicks from quality and reputable sources like premium chicks, which is our own chicks, agricop chicks. They are bred with up to date standard way of rearing. If you have them, you hardly even have this kind of problems. So the only problems you might have might be management problems. And then when you call in, we explain some of these things to you. So make sure that you get your bed from quality and reputable sources. And then when you are getting these beds, like there was a video we also did, there are some things that you check out for. You just don't get bed for the sake of them. You have to check some things. The beds you are buying, are they active? Are they standing? Are they playing? Are they very active? Or they are just the navel is not closed, or you have some forms of deformity, because it comes in various ways. Then you can see some forms of deformity in those chicks. So if your chick is deformed at day one, there's nothing you can do. Maybe it has no veins, or maybe it has no one eye. A reputable source would have sorted out all those things, would have been able to sieve out all those. We don't sell that out. We sieve it out and then we sell it. We give it to the fish to eat. So that's the essence of. But people that just buy from roadside, they pack all those things and keep it, and then you go to your farm, you discover that my birds are not growing. Doctor, what can I do? So that's what you can do. Don't patronize roadside people. Go with reputable sources. Premium. You can start from premium chicks. You can start there, and you see what I'm saying. Then number two, give them high quality feed and clean water. Just like you have a newborn baby. A baby needs to feed for it to grow. If you have chicks that you buy and then you don't feed them, or you give them poor feed, they will not be able to grow. Feed conversion and growth performance has a lot to do with broiler diet. Now, some will say, I buy my feeds from quality sources, I give them quality feed, but it is relative. How is it quality feed? Because you go and then you buy your feed. No, it might not even be. Because what we have realized over time is there's a certain there's a specific energy level your birds needs to take per time for them to respond to how they should grow. Now, if you give them feed low in the low energy, if you give them feed low in that energy, yeah, they will grow, but they will grow poorly. They will grow poorly. So depending on the number of your chicks, depending on the number of birds you have, we advise at times, do an analysis of your feed. Check the energy level of the feed. Forget about names. They will tell you, because I don't want to mention names of feed. They'll tell you I'm using this. Yes, you might be using it. The quality might be low for that batch. So it has nothing to do with name. But over time, for some feed millers, some feed producers have been able to distinguish themselves and known with quality. So at times we advise buy this, because we know them for quality. Even that the fact that we even know them for quality does not mean that it may once in a while they too fail the quality test. So it is very important that at every time you need to assess what you are doing, you need to assess your feed, you need to assess your water. As important as water is to humans, so it is to man, so it is to it's so same thing for chicks. If your water is not clean or is contaminated, your birds will react to it. And how do they react to it? They react to it in form of coming down with one ailment or the other. You will see it. But if you are not trained, if you are not observant, you won't know. So we advise, give high quality feed, give and clean water. Disinfect your water. Don't just give them any water, just like a newborn baby. You can't give, in fact, in hospitals where you give birth to babies, they will advise use so. They will advise maybe first week or thereabout, use I don't want to mention names of and why are they trying to do that? They are trying to sieve out they are trying to prevent a possible case of infection to the neonates, to the newborn, through water. So they have over time they have come to trust some water sources and some water manufacturers. Okay, go and buy this, give your baby maybe for the first 2 days or for the first 1 week. Then afterwards, give them what you drink. So the same thing applies to birds. So they own chicks too. So make sure that your water is clean. Don't just say because they are birds, you carry dirty water. What you give them is what they give you. They will respond to you. If you give them clean water, they will respond. If you give them dirty water, they will respond by way of sickness, by way of coming down with disease, and then you spend more money. You spend money to buy drugs and to treat. Not only that, you might even lose some of them. Now another point is sort the broilers according to body size or weight. Now this is a general problem among producers, especially those that do um, that do frozen food, or those that are produced for processors. They for the experienced ones, they know how to go about it, but for the inexperienced ones, they may not know how to go about it. Now, there is no how that you keep a population of birds. There's no how you feed them. Some will be bigger than the other, some will be more aggressive than the other, and some will thrive faster than the other. Even your family, look at your family. Are you all of the same size? Your parents gave you the same food. They are not of the same size. Some will be small. Aside the fact that some of these things are also genetic, but there is a level of management that comes into it. Now, when you give your birds, when you give them feed, there will be some that are very aggressive, and the aggressiveness, they tend to eat more, and the more they eat, and especially broilers are converters. Or if you want broilers to be big, all you just need to feed them. So they eat, and then as they are eating, they are converting the food. They are converting the food. You discover that over time, some of them will be very big, some of them will be very giant, and then the ones that cannot thrive, they won't allow them to eat, they won't allow them to drink. If you leave them like that for like 2 weeks, you will discover, you now complain, my birds, some are so small, some are round, some are big, some are so big, some are not. You did not do the proper thing. Now, what we advise, when you have that kind of a condition, you can demarcate your pen probably into three. We can carry out what we call like sorting. Now, what that does for you is you can do your sorting maybe every 2 weeks or every week, depending on how you feed them and depending on the kind of results you want to achieve. Maybe you are trying to target the market. Okay, I want my birds to hit the market. I want my broilers to hit the market at 5 weeks. I want them to have three. I want them to achieve 3 kg at 4 weeks. I want them to achieve 3.5 kg at 5 6 weeks. You get. So depending on what kind of program you are running, we advise divide your pen into maybe like three, then sort accordingly. When you sort, make sure that you sort the big ones and put them together so that they can thrive, they can compete favorably among themselves. Then the next set to it, maybe you can have like group A, group B, group C. Group A can be like maybe best from like 100 gram, maybe like best from maybe like 200 gram to 300 gram at maybe week one. Then maybe best from like on 100 gram, 100, uh, 200 gram to 100, no less than 200 gram. Maybe you take a middle range, 200 to 100. Then you take the least, maybe best from like 50 grams to 100. Then what you now do is push more feed to the list of the sets. Push more feed. Especially if you are trying to synchronize and achieve you are trying to achieve homogeneous weight. Give the little ones, the last group, give them more feed. And then don't let this thing take too long before if you don't do it on time, if you don't do it on time, by the time they pass a certain age, they may not be able to give you the results. So you try and do it early. So give them more feed. The next set to it, give them less feed. And then the big ones, give them the least feed. So if you do that repeatedly, week in, week out, you discover that at the end of the day, then as you are doing that too, in between those ones too, you have the ones that are also big, you have the ones that they also thrive. So you sort. So at the end of that week, sort the ones that are very big. So some of those ones might have achieved the weight of the second group. Sort them out and put them in that group. Then those in group two, some of them might have been so cowed that they can't feed. Their weight would have gone down, and then they are falling to the third group. Pick them, put them in the third group and feed them accordingly. If you do that in 5 weeks, your birds will achieve. It will be at the range of your weight range will be very very similar. So that's how to do that. So don't just keep birds on the farm. Keep them every 2 weeks. Keep them together for 6 weeks, and then just leave them like that. Some will be big, some will be very small, and it will not pay you because you cannot sell what you will sell for. Something that weighs well like 500 kg after 6 weeks, and then maybe you stock like 1,000. After 6 weeks, after 6 weeks, maybe 5 to 6 weeks, you have like 50% of the population achieving 2.5 between 2.5 to 3 kg live weight, and then you have the 50% of the rest 50% achieving maybe 200 kg, maybe 2 kg, average of 2 kg per live weight, and then you have remaining 25% of 50% achieving 500, maybe a range of 500 grams to 800 grams. It's a loss. It's a big loss. So that's how to go about that. If you have more questions on that, we can explain more to you on how to go about it. If you need to be guided, just reach out to us. We'll guide you on how to do it. Now, another Another factor you have to consider is avoid starving your birds. Do not starve your birds. Now we have designed a working formula. If you're a newbie, we have a tool on AgriHub website. Just go to AgriHub there it will be displayed on the screen so that you can click the link and then it will take you directly there. If you don't know what to give, because some people are into this business for the first time, they don't even know what to give their birds. So what we advise is go make use of that chart. We have designed this in such a way that if you know what to give your bird per day, you can even use it to calculate what to feed your bird, how many kg your birds are going to eat throughout the life cycle of that bird. So a link will be provided on the video so that you can go there, use it. So don't underfeed. Don't assume that they should take this. Some will call you, doctor, my birds, they are so do. Then by the time you check, okay, what are you giving them? I'm giving it, how many are they? They say they are so. What are you giving them? I'm giving them 4 or 5 bags of it. Then by the time you now check and calculate, you discover that they are being underfed. And if they are being underfed, there's no how they can get to the level you want them to get to because you are underfeeding them. So underfeeding and avoid starving, they are almost the same. So don't underfeed your bird. To have high production rates, ensure that broilers are not starving. It is important that you give them a constant supply of feed and water. It is a very essential and very important. Do not starve your broilers because they respond to broilers are even very funny. They respond to whatever you give them. If you starve them, they will respond. Their weight will drop drastically. And if you give them feed, then they will also respond. And that's why we also advocate your broilers max 5 6 weeks. Anything after that is a loss. But because most of us don't keep data. We don't keep data. We don't realize when you're keeping broiler for 8 10 weeks, you are running at a loss. You might not know. Maybe because you sell everything and advance it. But if you do your calculation, you realize you almost did not break even. Anything above 5 weeks, 5 6 weeks, you will not almost break even. But you might not know if you don't keep data. So if you feed properly, then you achieve what you want to achieve and call and then get out of it and bring you another one. Yeah, another point there is use growth promoters or boosters. We don't really, we don't most times encourage this because a lot of people tend to abuse it. But if you do it and it works for you, fine. But if your birds are properly managed, they are properly fed, your water is clean, biosecurity is top notch, your management is okay, you might not need to use all this. And I don't want to list some of these things because we get a lot of calls from people and some of them also tend to abuse it. Hey, doc, what to go promoter can I use? No, don't you go and just go and feed your birds. Let them do very well. Make sure everything is okay. You don't need. Well, go promoters are they are formulated to give ballers the best chance of reaching their potential growth as much as possible. You know, as much as possible. You can use if you so desire. But if you know what you are doing really, I don't think it's necessary. I don't we don't advocate it. I don't think. Then another point there is proper bed management. Management is key in poultry business. Management starts from the day one. In fact, it starts from before your birds come into the system. It starts from your pen cleaning. It starts from your washing. It starts from your disinfection of the pen. It starts from getting the right spray to source. It starts from sourcing from the right hatchery. It encompasses a lot of. So management is broad. Management is a broad topic that poultry business is hinged on. If your management is top notch, your management is sound, you will have little or no problem. Good bed management is essential for achieving optimal broiler growth, like I said. Some of the major key management practices include providing the correct diet, like I've also said, maintaining proper litter conditions, controlling temperature, controlling the temperature within the pen, and then providing good ventilation and other things. There are so many things that encompasses good management. You also need to it also helps to reduce the level of stress on the birds. Now, my point seven there will now be my point seven will be adequate housing and litter condition. Some people just buy broiler and keep it anyhow, and then they want to come back after 5 weeks and get 4 kg, 3 kg. They don't make provision for litter. They don't make provision for good bedding material. They don't make provision for this taking off their litter. They don't make provision of making sure that the litter is well managed. They don't do a lot of things. They just feel that they're animals. So let me just put them, and then I will, in 5 weeks, I'll cash out. Some might have even collected money from other people. And at the end of the day, when the person comes to pick the best, why are they so tiny? And you want back my money. The thing now becomes another story. So the housing should be of good quality and provide adequate space, like I said, because they need space to thrive. And there's this definite number of beds. There's a we have a calculation for spacing too. I think we will provide some of this. We'll give you a link to some of these things so that you can check them up, and it will help your practice. Now, I will not go by mentioning the litter is very, very important. It's very, very important that you maintain the quality of the litter, because if there's too much ammonia in your litter, it is toxic to the birds, and it impedes performance and growth in some of the birds, especially if you don't take notice. So at every time, check the litter, check if the litter is wet, so that you don't predispose them to toxic, and then check that the ammonia level. Check that the ammonia level of the. But by the time you enter, the litter will have a choky odor that even you want to run away. If you want to run away, so imagine the birds that live there 24/7. So the government will help them. So make sure that you have adequate housing and you have a good litter condition. Then eight, using lights using the light on and off tactics. Lighting is very important, especially during the process of breeding, because you have to we at early stages of breeding, we advise that you feed the birds hardly, just feed them. You don't need to be calculating feed. And then at night, make sure that you give them light. It has a way. Light helps them to help them to grow, to use light on and off programs. This method ensures that your broiler chicken fully digest their feed while resting, and give them enough time to consume a healthy amount of feed during light hours. So that's the essence of life. If you don't use this method, make sure that there are enough feeding spaces for broilers to eat simultaneously, so that when it's night, all of them, maybe they have eaten, they can go and rest. But if you on your lights, they can still eat into the night, and then there will be enough time for the food to digest before they all go to sleep. Now, the last but not the least, I've just been able to I didn't arrange them in any alphabetical order or in any order of importance. They are just these are just some of the tips that you will also need. Now, using feeders that do not waste feed. This point could have also have come up at number two or number three. Make sure that you use feeders that do not waste feed, because if you use feeders that waste feed, you are endangering the performance of the birds. You are wasting your own money. You are spending more to achieve the same thing. Although it may be tempting to purchase cost-effective feeders, investing in high-quality feeders that do not spill or waste chicken feed can pay off in the long run. The initial investment may be painful, but you will enjoy it at the end of the day. Don't buy feeders that waste food. Don't buy feeders that your birds will just go, and then the whole thing is gone off. It will affect their growth. So today I've been able to briefly explain to us. I've just been able to briefly give us 9 ways to increase the growth of our broilers. So for some of you that are calling to say, doctor, I'm having this issue, I'm sure we have been able to get one or two tips, and I'm sure that we have been able to realize some of the areas in which we are faulting, and then we are making some errors. So what you need to do is correct some of these errors, and if there are ones that you do not understand, you're always free. Feel free to call us. And then we have resources on agricop.com, www.agricop.com, We have resources on our farmers help centers. Make use of those resources. You don't have to pay for them. They are free. Make use of them. You want to convert. You want to calculate your feed. You want to medicate. They are free. They are free. And as time goes on, we add more to those resources so that it can help everyone to be profitable in their business. So thank you so much for today's edition. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.